please.
Thank you, Presiding Officer. We must sit up straight in this place. A chair for each member, a desk and a lectern. This is not a place for lounging. Because this is a parliament in which its members come to work, to represent the people who elect us. Presiding Officer, I'm sure we've all watched more Westminster parliamentary television than we care to remember over the past while. All that has done for me is to reaffirm the political beliefs that I've held all my life. The pomp, the arrogance, the sheer entitlement. It's fair to say that my opinion of our esteemed mother of all parliaments has slumped faster than Jacob Rees-Mogg down those green leather benches. But above all that, what angers me most is the game playing. The joy they take in plotting chess moves where they will always win and where my constituents will be the losers. Because in my constituency, it's not a game, it's life. It's my constituents' right to stay here. It's their jobs. It's the cost of what it takes to feed their family. It's the days lost in this debate that could have been spent tackling poverty in their community. It's the fear that they are no longer welcome to call this country home. In Mid-Fife and Glenrothes, we like to make things, and we make things which travel all over the world, from Tanqueray gin at the Cameron Bridge Distillery to the aluminium pigment used in your car paint from Silverline in Leven. And thanks to the Scottish Government, we're now welcoming the return of Leven's Railway after half a century, investment which is going to be transformational for the communities I serve. Contrast that with the behaviour of the UK Government, which is hell-bent on making business for the communities I serve harder. The Chancellor of the Duchy of Lancaster has confirmed that food prices are to rise in the event of a no-deal Brexit. He told Andrew Marr, "I think that there are a number of economic factors in play. Some prices may go up, others will come down. Maybe's aye, maybe's no." Not good enough, Presiding Officer. Not good enough for the 1 in 3 children in my constituency who are growing up in poverty. Not good enough for the mum in Glenrothes who can barely afford to feed herself, never mind her 4 hungry children. Not good enough for the pensioner in Kenneway who is forced to live in just one room of his house because he cannot afford the heating bills. No, Presiding Officer, no deal is not good enough for my constituents who live with long-term health conditions like diabetes and COPD. The leaked documents from the UK Government Operation Yellowhammer tell us that medical supplies will be vulnerable to severe extended delays as 3/4 of the UK's medicines enter the country via the main channel crossings. Glenrothes already has the highest percentages for hospitalisation for COPD in Fife. Not good enough. Today's Conservative amendment asks the Chamber to support the UK Government in reaching a deal with the EU, but that premise, of course, accepts that the UK Government actually wants a deal. So perhaps the Scottish Tories might listen to one of their own. On this absurd argument that Boris is trying to get a deal, he's obviously not trying to get a deal. He's dug himself in. He assumes he's going to get no deal because he can't get the right wing of the Conservative Party, many of them now stuck in his cabinet, to agree to it. Not my words, but those of Ken Clarke, who was expelled from the Conservative Party this week, making him the first independent MP to hold the position of the Father of the House since 1815. From the rate clause debates to the gender representation on public boards, Ruth Tories have already proven themselves entirely incapable of doing the right thing in this place. Now, even Ruth knows the game's a bogey. In July, she said, "I don't think the government should pursue a no-deal Brexit, and if it comes to it, I won't support it." And yet, not a single one of her MSPs can admit it. Not a single one will vote to rule out no deal at 5 o'clock tonight because ultimately they believe this Parliament should be subservient. Scotland is being sidelined. Yes, I will.
Liam Kerr.
I'd just like to know, if faced with the options of no deal and the withdrawal deal, would the member urge MPs to back that deal?
Jenny Gilruth.
I thank Liam Kerr for that intervention. I don't know what deal he's talking about. There is no deal. He's living in a fantasy land. Boris has not secured a deal. It doesn't exist. Boris Johnson is exactly who you would rather have in charge of this. Boris, whose comments led to the imprisonment of Zadine Nagrahi Ratcliffe. Boris, who compared women wearing burqas and niqabs to letterboxes. Boris, who yesterday referred to the leader of the opposition as a big girl's blouse. But then again, why should we expect any more from a group of individuals who will soon be led by Murdo Fraser? Presiding Officer, talking of the ridiculous, I would like to return to Jacob Rees-Mogg. In 1997, he stood in the Central Fife constituency against one Henry McLeish and my predecessor, Tricia Marwick. It is a well-known story that has already been mentioned by Neil Findlay today that Rees-Mogg took his nanny out on the campaign trail. He confirmed as much, stating, "I was going to take my Bentley, but she," that's the nanny by the way, "wisely said that this would be seen as ostentatious and that I should take Mummy's Mercedes instead." Suffice to say, Mummy's Mercedes did not go down well in Leven, where he referred to those claiming benefits as the scourge of the earth. Let us return to what a no-deal Brexit will mean for our constituents. Fewer jobs, food shortages, depleted medical supplies, and all of this is confirmed by the UK Government's own analysis. What is left of the United Kingdom is a place now being governed by a party who have deselected Winston Churchill's grandson. Or, as the father of the house put it, "I don't recognise my party. It's been taken over by a bizarre character and the most right-wing cabinet. The Prime Minister comes to us and talks total rubbish." The Tories' amendment is worse than total rubbish. It is lacking any suggestion of political backbone. The time for these Tories to prove their worth has long since passed, but we all know they're Boris's backers now. I just hope that unwavering loyalty pays them the dividend they deserve at the ballot box. Thank you.